What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes? Welcome back to another episode of your potentially favorite Nigerian podcast. Bear with me, your host, General Prime. Today, I want to talk about something that I just came to the realization of, and I just have to accept because it's no longer a joke. It's something that actually scares me. It's something that's actually blowing my mind, and I have to embrace the reality of it. And the first best way I think I can embrace the reality of it is to actually talk about it. What I want to talk about, I'm sure you've seen it from the title of the episode. What I want to talk about today is the fact that we are actually living in a fucking simulation, bro. We are living in a fucking simulation, and it's not in the sense it's not like the kind of simulation in the sense of how it's portrayed in movies, like for example in the Matrix, or like in Love, Death and Robots. What is the name of that episode again? Beyond the Aquila Rift. It's not like that. It's a lot more subtle. You know how I always talk about how reality is stranger than fiction, and there is no amount of storytelling. There is no, as in, if you bring 100 writers or 1,000 writers, nobody is creative enough. None of them are creative enough to be able to come up with the kind of drama that reality bestows on us every day. Like the kind of drama that reality gives to us or shows us or puts us in every day. Reality is stranger than fiction, and there's no way that there's no amount of storytelling that can live up to half of what happens every day in our reality. And I've just come to the realization that our reality right now is actually a simulation, if you actually think of it deeply. And like I said earlier, it's not the kind of simulation we see in the Matrix, or the kind of simulation that are portrayed in movies. The kind of simulation that we're living in actually right now is the one that is subtle, is the one that is so invisible that if you're not attentive, if you're not grounded, if you're not really observant of all that is going on in the world right now, you're going to miss it. We have become so part of it that it's now like our everyday life. We have become so part of it that we don't even notice it anymore. We have become so part of it that we don't even realize how inescapable it actually is. This is how bad it is. This is how much ingrained, this is how much in tune with this simulation that we are. I always wonder, or I always just laugh, not even laugh. I just always wonder when, scientists always talk about how AI is going to put us in a simulation, or how Elon Musk usually talks about how, no, not even only Elon Musk, bro. Scientists always talk about how, there is a possibility that we're actually living in a simulation. There's a possibility that, this our life, our reality is not real. There's always this talk of solipsism, where your red might not be the same with my red. What you assume to be the taste of apple might actually not be the same as what my own taste of apple feels like. Everybody's living in this solipsistic reality where things are catered or curated for every single person to have a unique experience of the world of life. But I always have a problem with that, because then again, how do you explain people that are suffering? How do you explain people that are, for example, now let's take the Palestinians in Gaza now that are going through hell, they're actually going through hell as me and you, as I'm talking to you right now. There are people that are starving, people that are, just dying, people that are in war-torn countries, people in third world countries that will never have the opportunities that you watching this video have today, that will never live the kind of life, an ideal 21st century kind of life. There are people today living amongst us that will never experience it. So this has always been my problem with the idea of the simulated reality that all these scientists and all these intellectuals and all these prominent people always talk about. I always try to weigh it with how in the everyday life people are suffering. There are people that are actually just like there are people that are living in heaven in this our reality. There are also people that are actually living in actual hellfire, real life hellfire. And so that's why I've never really subscribed to that idea of reality, or should I say, that's why I've never really subscribed to that idea of our simulated reality, the idea that we are living in that kind of simulation. I just have never found myself to buy it. But then again, I always like, I'm always by myself, and I always think of things that are happening. I always try to observe and just like try to see things from a different perspective. And so yesterday I was just thinking of it. Like, we're actually living in a different kind of simulation. It's a simulation nonetheless, but it's a different kind of simulation. Like, it's not like the Matrix kind of simulation. It's a different one whereby our world has been kind of, as in everything around us today is fake. You understand? Everything around us, every single thing that you can think of around us today is fake. And I'm going to give you examples. First example I want to talk about today is, we're living in the 21st century right now, where everything feels so hyper realistic. Everything feels so fake. Everything feels so curated. Everything feels so algorithmic. Everything feels like it's beckoning on you. Like, every single experience we have today has been designed to beckon on you, has been designed for your attention, has been designed to want to appeal to you, to want you to engage with it. Like, we rarely see things today that are just done for the love of it. We rarely see things today that are just done because we are capable of doing them. Every single thing today, like, for example, the first example I want to give is, let's start with social media. Like, there used to be a time when this is what I've noticed with this is one thing I've noticed about social media right now. I talked about how Twitter banned me, and so I decided to, I used to have like an Instagram profile, and I never really engaged with Instagram. Like, I just knew that, like, I'm not really a social media person. And so just because Instagram banned me, and because we are now in the epoch, in a time when we are just, it's kind of, it's sad for me to admit it. It's also actually kind of shameful for me to admit it, but we cannot live without our phones. I mean, I've talked about this ad nauseum. We cannot live without our phones, and it is virtually impossible for you to, as in, not want to. There is this fear of missing out. Basically, there is this fear of missing out, and so because we have this inherent fear of missing out, this new is not inherent. It's actually new, because we've now had this new fear of missing out. We tend to want to remain on, like, the timeline. We tend to want to remain where everybody else is. And so I decided to, just try to go back to Instagram and see what is going on. And what I've noticed on Instagram is kind of weird. It's just odd. It's weird. There used to be a time when, people with disabilities, people that have differences in their lives, people that just are not living the kind of life that, for some strange reason or for one reason or the other, are not living life like everyday people. Like, their lives are just different, either maybe because of they have some kind of disability, or they have some kind of neurological disorder, or they are unfortunate enough to have been victims of some kind of accident, or just something happened to them. And we used to feel very sorry for these people. We used to feel very sympathetic towards these people. And so we always I'm not saying we all, I'm sure, just let me say personally me, I always feel sympathetic towards this kind of people, and I always try my best to go out of my way to be kind to them whenever I come in contact with them and stuff like that. But what I've noticed on Instagram today is that everybody, everything now, right, everything today is every interaction we have on social media, everything that we do on social media today we're not doing them because we just want to showcase, we just want to express ourselves. Everything today, even what I'm saying right now, even the very act of what I'm doing right now, regardless of how informative or regardless of how eye-opening it might be, everything today is creation. Everything today is content creation. Everything today is content. Everything that we are doing, all our lives, all our digital signature or digital blueprints, everything that we have today it has turned into content creation. There used to be a time when you posted something on Instagram, it was because you wanted to just post something, because it was a platform for you to, it was like, how we used to have picture books in the past, our parents used to have picture books in the past, and you see pictures of events that they used to attend to, or memories of things that happened in their life, and all those things were authentic, all those things were just just normal. It was just them having a snapshot in time of whatever it is must have been happening in that point in time, right? And so initially, all these social media platforms were the digital equivalent of the physical picture books that our parents used to have. And for a time, it was so, and everything was well and good. But as time went on, see, anything that money touches, it soils. Anything that the love of money touches, it soils. So as time went on, and then the powers that be realized that, oh, you can use this platform, you can use this avenue to advertise to people, to show people things that they might not necessarily need but just want. You can use it to make people to want to feel like they are better than everybody else. And so when these powers that be realize this thing, they decide to start putting in adverts in all these social media platforms. And for the adverts to go far, you have to pay people. And so it now began that it was now possible for everyday people to get paid for posting stuff online, for posting stuff on their social media platforms. And so we have now gotten to a point in time when people no longer post stuff just because they want to detail, or just because they want to showcase a snapshot of a point in time of something special in their life. Like if you go on social media right now, you barely see anybody posting something authentic. Everything feels artificial. Everything feels scripted. Everything feels so curated. Everything feels like they're doing it for the algorithm to boost them. It's like we are in this void, we're in this room where everybody is screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming. And for your voice to be heard, you have to go out of your way to do things that are quote unquote unique. You have to go out of your way to do things that nobody else has most probably done before. And so now I'm seeing stuff on Instagram where you see people that are, this is more and more, I'm seeing it more and more and more. I try to curate my Instagram to just let it be about cars, because now there is no escaping this there's no escaping this simulation, there's no escaping this matrix. It's just the norm now. It's just something that we just have to get used to. And so the best way for me to get used to it, I don't want to be seeing all these fake posts on Instagram. I don't want to be seeing all these weird things that people do. All I just want to see on Instagram is just about cars, about Toyota trucks, about Forerunners, about Land Cruisers, just about cars. But it's like the algorithm doesn't want you to, escape. The matrix doesn't want you to escape. The simulation doesn't want you to be different in the simulation. It wants you to be part of it. It wants you to enjoy what everybody else is enjoying. So it forces all these things on you. And what I see most of the time on Instagram is people with severe disabilities, people with, neurological disorders, people that are accident victims, people that are biology and nature was unkind to them, and then they were born in a certain kind of way. And so they've turned their disabilities, they've turned their inadequacies, they've turned their sad stories, and they've turned their whatever it is that is wrong with them, they've turned it into content creation. And I'm not saying that it is wrong for you to express yourself regardless of whatever it is that is wrong with you. And that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that people have turned, you see cancer patients, born victims, people that are blind, people with Down syndrome, people with disorders that you've never even heard about before. Do you understand? They are now feeling so they're no longer playing the victims. It's not like, I'm not saying that initially it was okay for you to be a victim, or it was okay for you to just cry victim all the time of your life. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that whole idea of them being downtrodden in life has been washed away and has been replaced by this whole new idea of that they can use their disability, they can use their shortcomings to their own advantage, and then they can use it to showcase to the world what it is that is wrong with them, and they can use it as content creation. Basically, that's just all I'm trying to say. So everything that you see on Instagram, most things that you see on Instagram now, you see from old women, or should I say MILFs, let's not even kid ourselves, from MILFs, right, to young people that are disabled, down to kids, like little kids, like fucking little children. It's almost as if Instagram, as in Instagram is supposed to be aware that there are evil people in the world, right? This is me coming from, I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate here. So Instagram is supposed to be aware that there are evil people in the world and evil people exist on their platforms. And it's not news anymore that pedophiles are everywhere. So it fucks with my mind when I see like little kids, being overtly sexual on Instagram, on social media. And I'm always wondering, like, are you people not seeing, like, then you go to the comments and then you see people like gawking at these little kids, right? And then you go to the profiles of these people. Most of them are, private profiles, and some of them, the ones that I don't know, maybe just they're not shameless. They're just so shameless. They don't care anymore. You see that they are like adults that are gawking on little kids. Like, it fucked, as in, I'm like, wow, what is going on, bro? Like, I'm like, bro, why are you saying this to a child? Like, it has become this cesspool of just degeneracy and debauchery, and just as in everything is fucked up, everything is upside down, nobody cares anymore. What everybody cares about now is how to make money. AI is like gradually taking over everything that we're doing, like every physical thing that we're capable of doing. Like, AI is going to, in 5 years' time, AI is going to take over most. You see, me, I'm a construction worker, right? And I was even kind of like, thinking that I was exempt from this thing. But then you see robots that are laying bricks. You see robots that are laying tiles. You see robots that are doing carpentry work professionally, like so fucking perfectly. And you're like, nobody is safe. It's like, nobody is fucking safe. So everybody now is aware of the fact that, and everybody has accepted, it's almost as in everybody has docilely accepted that AI is going to like take over everything. And so in order for everybody to continue to make money, to continue to stay relevant, to continue to be able to provide for their families, everybody is now like shifting into the digital world. And everybody's turning into a content creator, regardless of whether they have the talent for it or not. Everybody is now becoming a content creator. Everybody's moving into this new space now. And the companies are not even, I don't even think the companies have enough funds to pay everybody. So, but everybody's doing their best. Everybody's trying to be as unique as possible. Everybody's trying to scream the loudest in this noisy room where everybody else is screaming. Everybody's trying to have a one up above everybody else. And so this is what I'm seeing. Social media has now like destroyed everybody's sense of morality, everybody's sense of discipline, or should I say everybody's sense of dignity. Like, everybody, like, people now will do whatever it takes to be the next influential person, to be the next social media influencer, to be the next Mr. Beast, to be whatever it is that they want to do. This is one thing I've noticed. This is one of the simulations that I've noticed that we are in. That this is one of the facets of the simulation that I've noticed that we have been tied to. We have been tethered to. Like, it is now inescapable. There is nothing that we can do about it. Another example I want to give is when it comes to food. When you go to like a supermarket, right? In the past, like, food is obviously very essential, right? I mean, without food you cannot survive. In the past, there are different ways we had in storing food, because obviously we are not back then we are not as technologically advanced as we are today. But as we have now gotten to the advent of where we now have things like supermarkets. I mean, supermarkets used to be very, very convenient for us in the past. They used to be a very good place for you to go and pick up things that you need and, just to make life easier for you, right? But that was then. Today, in 2025, we no longer have supermarkets. What we have today now are hypermarkets, where you go, like regardless of any time or any season of the year, you go to a supermarket and whatever it is that you want, ever at all, will always be there, regardless of if it's in season or not. Like, we're in summer now, and this is not the season for oranges, but I bet that you can go to a supermarket and you're still going to see oranges. You understand? It always baffles me, and I always find it funny when I go to a supermarket during winter and I still see watermelons. God. I still see watermelons, bro. And I just like, yeah, it's funny and it's kind of like baffling, but it's creepy because it feels like, oh, there's nothing that is real anymore. Even when you go to like the supermarket, you see that everything feels so perfect. Everything has been just aligned so perfectly well for you to just go. Like, it's so unnatural. It's so removed from nature. It's so removed from the actual reality. Everything feels so, yellow and ripe and ready to be consumed. And it's like everybody jokes about how you go to a supermarket, right, and then you buy a banana, and once you just immediately you leave the supermarket, the banana spoils. Immediately you take the banana home, it just suddenly magically just decides on its own to rotten. And I mean, it has become a meme at this point. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? So it's just kind of weird how unnatural everything feels. Like, you go to the supermarket, like there's also the very fact that there is always what you need there, like always what you need in the supermarket, just feels so simulated, feels so fake, feels so curated, feels so like, oh, there's this, there has always been this question: if a tree in a forest somewhere falls down, right, and nobody's there to like witness it, does it make a sound? That has always been like a question that has always been a contentious question, and there's never, like, obviously, yes, probably there is, it makes a sound, but how do you know, right? Like, we're living as in this hour, when you've gotten to the consciousness that, when you've gained the consciousness that we are probably living in a simulation, that question now takes a new meaning, because you now start to ask yourself, like, really, like, does it really make a sound? Like, how do we know? Like, how do you know? It's the only way that you can know is if you're a witness to it. And the best kind of like the farthest that you can be from it is if you like set a camera there to witness it fall. But then the camera is also a witness. So like, we can never really ever really know that a tree that falls in a forest will actually make a sound. The only way that we think we know is because when we have been around trees that fall, they always make sounds, right? That is just that. But then again, that can just be that can just be the matrix. That can just be the simulation simulating. You understand? There have been times where I'm sure everybody else have like kind of like experienced this in their life at one point in time or another. There have been times where you just randomly smell things that are not there, right? You just randomly smell things. Me personally, I've smelled things that are not there. I've tasted things, like I just randomly just have this taste of something that I'm not like for example, now I'm just like on my own, and all of a sudden I just start tasting strawberries, or just start tasting like some food that my mom cooked like a while ago. Like, it's just so weird. And also, there are things that sound like other things. Do you understand? Like, the simulation it might be perfect. You understand? Like, the simulation might be perfect. The simulation might be hyper realistic. The simulation might be so, profound and like well simulated, well computer, as in the computer generation, like, might be so well done, but there are some parts of it that crack, that you tend to notice, like the fact that there are some things that sound like other things. You understand? Like, there are some things that share the same sound. Like, for example, you hit a metal on something and it will have the same sound as something entirely different reacting to something entirely different. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So yeah, the matrix might be, or the simulation might be perfect and profound, but it still has some cracks. Now, another point again I want to try to make is the fact that as in our relationships today, you understand, our relationships today feels weird, feels fake. We are now living in a time when, because of the capitalist markets, because of how everything now has become so expensive, people are either not getting into relationships, or they are getting into relationships later in life. People are either not getting married, or they are getting married later in life. People are no longer like having children, or they are having children later in life. And this is because of the simulation. This is because of how the simulation has curated relationships around our perception. You understand? Like for example, now when in the terms of dating, um, in a way we are becoming more honest with ourselves. In a way, we are becoming more honest with ourselves in the sense that men need sex biologically. Like men need sex. Men just cannot exist without like fucking. I mean, pussy is like the sweetest thing that has ever existed in this world. And if there is a way that the simulation can, I mean, the simulation has already. I'm going to get to that point. So let me just stick with my first point. Men need sex, and that's a given. That's like a biological need for men. And but then again, it's this biological need is something tethered to our, no pun intended, biology, right? Men have always been the protector. Men have always been the provider, and so the best protector and the best provider naturally gets the woman. Do you understand? This is how things used to be in the past when we were not in the simulation. The best protector and the best provider, the one that can protect and the one that can provide with, the best food and the best crops, naturally gets most of the women, more of the women, right? And this is just evolution by natural selection. There is, as in, don't even think that it is unfair. It's just evolution being evolution. But then again, as time have evolved and somewhere along the line we found ourselves to be in this new simulated reality where everything now is fake. The only thing now that men seem to be able to give or bring to the table is money. And the only thing now that women are, I don't mean to sound sexist. The only thing now that most women can be able to like provide or bring to the table is sex. And so because of this, like people are now becoming honest with themselves that, women are now becoming honest with themselves because of the fact that, first of all, women have now become like a lot more sexually active, a lot more sexually educated. You understand? They are now a lot more in tune with themselves, and women can be able to like, bring themselves to orgasm. Like women can be able to come now. Women can be able to like play with themselves properly more now, and it's no longer frowned upon. Like let's just forget about the whole, let me not make mention of people that are still religious, or people that still have superstition when it comes to pleasing yourself. That's not what I'm trying to say. Like for the most part, you understand, women are a lot more educated right now when it comes to sex and when it comes to like pleasing themselves, because in the past, men because of how sexually enthusiastic men have always been, they never really cared about the women. Men always just wanted to like have sex and come and just forget about it. You understand? There was no much sexual education. There was no much foreplay. There was no much consideration of who you're having sex with. Men just wanted to like just do it and get it over with. But as time has gone on, right, the story has changed, and women are a lot more in tune with themselves now, and they use things like sex toys. Like as in so much has come to light on the issue of female sexual health or female sexual experience. And so because of this, right, women now know that men still haven't, like, a lot of men still haven't like left that primitive mentality of only sexually gratifying themselves without like considering the woman. A lot of men, like, this is the truth. Yes, we have men that are a lot more sexually educated and a lot more sexually considerate. You understand? But the truth of the matter is that we still have a long way to go. But the funny thing there now is that women now know that they can please themselves very well. They can please themselves very, very well. And they actually don't really need the men. Women are actually working and making more money for themselves. And women now have like a lot of freedom. They can do whatever they want to do. I'm not talking about like Islamic countries or third world countries. You understand? I'm just like generalizing. So women now know that they are, as in 21st century women, have a lot more freedom. They are working, they are making money, and they can be able to please themselves. And aside from the fact that we still have this social narrative about marriage, some people are still still wanting to get married, still wanting to have children. You understand? But with the nature of how things are today, it's becoming increasingly difficult to achieve that for a lot of people. So what women are now doing now is that this is something I've observed. They would rather just like, go for the money instead. That's why you see a lot of women with a lot of high body counts. You ask a woman, like, how many people have you had sex with? And you hear people saying 200, 500. Like, everybody knows about this Bonnie Blue, right? Somebody that has had sex with like a thousand men. Like, this is something that is now becoming normal in our society. This is something that we're not taking, as in, it is now something that has now become almost, as in, it's not being taken for granted. Like, being so promiscuous, being so open, being just so, like, I don't even know how to like put it, man. So women now would rather like just sex for women, sex with like men for women have become so trivial that they are willing to give it up so easily because they know that it's nothing to them. Do you understand? It's nothing to them, and they can just like give it up anytime they want to, as long as they know that they're going to get a lot of money from it. Do you understand? Men too are now, as in like men too know that like for men, on men's parts, like marriage is not something that a lot of men honestly want to go into. If there is a way that you can like tell a man that it is socially acceptable for you to not get married, you can have a child out of wedlock, but it is still socially acceptable for you to not get married. Or you can even get married, but your wife and children, like in the past, actually, in the old days, when people got married, when a man and woman decided that they were going to like be together, in the past, like in Greek, what I've read about, not even only in Greek societies, even in African societies also, the women had their own, like, their own houses and their own places where they stayed. The men had their own places where they stayed, and it was only for consensual visits that they came together. Yes, they were married. Yes, they were together, right? But the women were rarely seen. You understand? Women, like, this is how it used to be. But society now is, as in, this is why marriages fail, because when you're living with somebody for a very long period of time, you get to know everything about the person. You get to know all of their flaws and all of their shortcomings and all of everything that is wrong with them. And a lot of people find that distasteful. A lot of people cannot, like, live with that. A lot of people cannot tolerate it. That's why you see there is a high percentage of divorces going on right now. Not even necessarily because of like cheating or because of financial reasons. There are people that just get tired of each other. This particularly happened a lot during the pandemic, where, because of the fact that before the pandemic, husbands and wives used to like go out to work and then they come back in the evenings and, tolerate themselves as best as they can before they go out the next day. But you see that during the pandemic, divorces and relationship breakups like happened more during the pandemic because people were now like being more with each other and becoming a lot less tolerant with each other. So this is another like part of the simulation I think is happening today, where men are okay with just shelling out money and for the sex and for the sexual gratification, and women are okay collecting the money and just like dashing men the pussy, because men just want the pussy, and it's not necessarily enjoyable for the women because they know that they can do it themselves to their utmost satisfaction. That's why you see a lot of these Instagram influencers are okay with going to Dubai to get shat on, to get pissed on, to get molested and raped and used anyhow they want to be used, and just because of the money. You understand? This is what a lot of women are doing. Like, everybody has heard about the Dubai potty party, where women go to Dubai and then they get like pissed on, they get raped, they get used by animals, and just because of the money. So this is not natural. Obviously, this kind of behavior is not natural. This kind of behavior stems from the fact that we are living in a simulation, and people are so far from their real selves. People have hidden their real selves because of things that are going on in the world so deeply that their artificial selves, the masks that they are wearing, is now what they walk around with. They are living fake lives right now. We see that, we see like everything now, like I said earlier, everything now is fake. Celebrities are fake. Like everybody now, like all the celebrities, like you ask yourself, like, how is it that all the celebrities all have the same fucking political point of view? Like, how is that possible? Like, all of you are just thinking the same thing. All of you agree with the same thing. Like, how is that even, like, everything is just so unreal. Everything is just so superficial. Everything is just so surface level. Even when it comes to politics, you hear the politicians talking about how they're going to do this and that. They're going to try to like look at what is going on with Trump today. This is somebody that during his campaign, everybody knows that he was saying he was going to like bring to light the whole Epstein, saga. He's going to like bring it to light and show everybody the truth. But today, look at what he's doing. Look at what he's saying. He's either saying that everybody should forget about it, or he's trying to like exempt himself so far away from it that there is no other way that he can look at it without realizing that, oh, this person was in the Epstein list. This person is part of people that were molesting little children, raping little children on that Epstein island. This person is evil after all. This is one thing that the left unknowingly got right. Like, the left actually unknowingly said the truth about Trump. Like, Trump is actually like this evil guy that, as in, you see videos of him around like little children. You see like this audio, there's this audio or interview of him where he was talking about how he goes into their locker rooms because he owns the building just to like look at this beautiful. It's like, these people are weird. Do you understand? Like, they're just so fucking weird. And the very fact that he campaigned, that he used this, as in, even he himself, right? When he was, I don't know, when he was like campaigning and he was talking about how he was going to bring to light the Epstein situation, right? Did he really think that people are just going to forget about it when he got into office? Like, yeah, he used a lot of podcasters, all these prominent podcasters, Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz, Theo Von, like all these political tools that think they're not political tools. Like, you cannot escape this thing, regardless of how much you think you're exempt from it, regardless of how much you think you're different, regardless of how much you think you're saying the truth or you're saying what everybody else is thinking of, bro. You are part of the simulation. There is no escaping it. There is nothing that you can do about it. It's just what it is. Do you understand? It's just what it is. So all these comedy podcasters that think that, oh, they are the bros, that, they were hanging with Trump, they were just like talking, just getting to know him. He's their friend. He used them. That is just the truth about it. He used them for his political campaign. He used them for his political agenda, and he got into office, and now he's calling them fools. He's denying them. He's just being so unapologetically indifferent about them. So that is just the truth. All these politicians now that are always talking about how, they are going to do this and that when they get into office. As in, right now we have known, like, there is no other way now. Just like they cannot play the trick of COVID on us again. Like, Trump now has made it clear and plain and certain that every politician is a liar. Like, all of them are different. All or every single one of them are different, and it scares me, because in the case of Nigeria, we have somebody like Peter Obi who is promising heaven and earth to Nigerians of what he's going to do when he gets into office, like in 2027, when Nigerians vote him and he becomes the president of Nigeria in 2027. That is, again, I am saying, if the country has not been destroyed by then, because with the way things are going right now, I don't think that Nigeria is going to remain a country by 2027. Do you understand? So with the way he's just being so, like, acting like the messiah, acting like the savior, acting like the person that is going to like pull Nigeria back from the brink of hell, it scares me. Like, I'm really worried, and I'm really kind of hesitant, and I'm looking at it like with my third eye, because if somebody like Trump can choose to tarnish his image, to choose to tarnish his legacy, choose to just like destroy himself in the public view like this, somebody that's an old man, and he's obviously not going to get re-elected, because this is just how it is, right? He's going to go down in history as one of the worst presidents in Nigeria. Somebody that never kept to his promise, somebody that lied, somebody that, like, he was so disingenuous. Someone that promised Americans heaven and earth. He said that he was going to like stop the war in Ukraine within like a few days, and till today the war is still going on in Ukraine. He said that he's going to like stop the war between Israel and Palestine, yet it's still going on. Yet he still shipped weapons to fucking Ukraine and still like, I don't know, still supporting fucking Israel. If this can happen, then why can't it happen in Nigeria? Why? Who is to say that it is not possible for it to happen in Nigeria, where Peter Obi has his promising heaven and earth to Nigerians right now when he gets into power? He just, I don't know, maybe there is something that happens to them whenever they get into power. You know, they tend to like want to do good, genuinely do good. This is what I actually believe. They tend to want to genuinely do good, but then they get into power and they are shown something. They are shown a different perspective. They are something is brought, a new information is brought to their attention, and they just suddenly change. They just decide that, oh, whatever it is that they promise the people can go to hell for all they care. And so I'm just scared that this might be actually what is going to happen to Nigeria when Peter Obi becomes president, because obviously Tinubu is not going to be a president again. This is it for him. Regardless of, as in, even if he tries to rig it, I think that would be the camel that breaks that would be the straw that breaks the camel's back. If he tries to rig the election in 2027, I think that would be what will now bring Nigeria to a close. So yeah, that's that about that. The next point I want to make about us being in a simulation is, like I said earlier, everything seems to be designed to appeal to you. Like nothing again is being done for the fact that we have the ability to do it. Things like from artwork to, you know, creativity to technology, like everything now feels like they are doing it for, not for the fun of it, but just to sell whatever it is to you. You understand? Like we see where ads at this point in time are inescapable. Ads, like everywhere you go, there are ads everywhere, in movies, in music, in pop culture, on like just there are ads every fucking where, just vying for you to buy. Most of the things you don't even need them. Most of the things like this, like you see things like whenever I'm listening to a podcast, right? By the way, I've kind of reduced my podcast intake now that I've realized that most of these people are grifters too. People like Joe Rogan, people like, most of them are just, you know, everything is fake, bro. Everything, as in, when you realize it now becomes so tiring. It now becomes so, as in, like, it becomes so tasteless, and you cannot even like stomach it. You don't even want to pay attention to it anymore. You don't even want to like give it your time. You understand? So now that I've realized that, you know, like when you're listening to a podcast, by the way, and then you hear them talking about how, this AG1 stuff is what they take every month. Somebody like Andrew Huberman, right? Talking about how he takes AG1 every single morning, and then he does this for him. And you're listening to all these podcasts about different supplements that they take, or different fucking things that they do every morning that makes their life feel better. Like, it's, nobody can take that much. Just like nobody can drink like 10 different supplements every single morning, or do 10 different things every single morning or every single night just to feel like it's a lie, bro. It's all a fucking lie. It's all to appeal to you. It's all to get you to want to spend money. It's all to just make you to be part of the fucking statistic. It's just you're a number to them. All these fucking companies, all these corporations, you're just a number to them. You're just part of the statistic. They don't care about you. They just want your money. They just like all these data companies. They know every single thing about us. Even the VPN companies, bro. Like when they talk about all these VPN companies, NordVPN, fucking ExpressVPN. They are owned by the same people, by the way. They are owned by Israel, the Israelis. NordVPN and ExpressVPN, they are owned by the same company. And that company is owned by Israel. So now, like, the NordVPN now that is like, you know, trying to stop your data from quote unquote being leaked to, you know, all these people, all these data analysts or data corporations that steal your data and sell it to, or, you know, companies that now in turn like give you curated adverts. It's stupid, because why would anybody believe that? Like, your data on your laptop or your data on your PC or on your phone is not the only place where data can be. It's not the only place where your data, everything about you, can be collected. It's just one of many places. Like for example, now we have things like, they have all these Wi-Fi fridges, free refrigerators now that have Wi-Fi in them. Like you ask yourself why. You have your bed now like this. There's this new bed that they call 8 Sleep that monitors how you sleep at night, and monitors how your body feels at night, and like everything now is computerized. Everything now has like fucking AI on it. Every single product now, every single product has AI. Every single product, bro, has AI. Even the product that don't record that 10 years ago, you would never think this thing, like why would it have shoes have AI? Your closet has AI. Your mirror in your bathroom has AI. Your fucking bed has AI. Your flask for your water bottle, has AI. As in flask for water bottle, what does that mean? I mean your water bottle, man, has AI. Like everything has AI. You ask yourself, like, how? Like, why will my water bottle have AI? Like, how does that make sense? Like, what is inside this water? Like, bro, bro, it's becoming fucking annoying. It's becoming frustrating, man. It's becoming fucking annoying. Why? Wait, excuse me. People that sell AI water bottle, like, and people that let's not talk about the people that sell the AI, because there will always be oil salesmen, snake oil salesmen, right? That is a given. But you now, right? You that you're listening to this, that you happen to have an AI water bottle. Like, why? Let me just ask you a question. Why? Why do you have an AI water bottle? Why? Another thing again that I find funny are cars that come with like haptic feel gestures, like all these cars that you have to like wave your hand for the door to open, or wave your foot for the trunk to like open. Do you not have hands? Like, do you know that you can just open do you know that you can just like open the door of your car? Like everything like they are taking us further and further away from nature. They are taking us further and further away from our real selves. They are taking us further and further away from what it means to be human. You understand? And putting us into this like box of, we are being hybrids. We are becoming basically cyborgs. Do you understand? We're becoming basically cyborgs. And it's like they are not stopping. They don't care. They literally do not care. They are not stopping. They will produce more. I mean, iPhone 17 is coming out and people are going to buy. iPhone 17 is coming out and people are still going to buy it. And you ask yourself, like, what happened to the iPhone 16? Like, everybody just wants to stay relevant. Everybody just wants to feel important because of that incessant, inherent need for us to always want to feel important, for us to always want to be the center of attention and center of attraction, for us to always want to be the main character in our story. They know that about us. They know that this is an inherent trait of human beings, and they are now capitalizing on it. They are now using it to take advantage of us. Not me personally, like all of you. You understand? Because I'm still using my fucking iPhone 6 and it's working perfectly. So it's not because I don't have the money to buy another one. It's just like, why do I need something? Why do I have to subscribe to the idea of always buying stuff every single year? Doesn't make any sense. You understand? So they know this about us, and they're now like using it against us in every single way, and they don't care about the outcome. They know that people are going to buy. They know that buying means you're buying things that you don't need. Means like there's this instant gratification of you get when you have new stuff, and they know about it and they're capitalizing as in harshly on it. So they know this about us. Like creativity now is dying. The creativity is dying. You have to like dig You have to like really, really dig deep to find people that are creative for the sake of being creative. To find people that are building things, people that genuinely enjoy. Even some of the people that genuinely enjoy what they are doing, they turn it into content creation. You know how they always talk about if you find what you love, you never work a day in your life. But that statement is no longer true, because people who are lucky enough to have found their calling in life, to have found what they actually genuinely love, have turned what they genuinely love into content creation. And unfortunately, it has now become a job for them, where they've put themselves in this corner, they've put themselves in this hole where they have to like make content about the thing that they love. You understand? You see someone that is like a creator or a fabricator on Instagram, not Instagram, sorry, on YouTube, even on Instagram self. You see somebody that like genuinely creates things, like he's a very brilliant creator. But just because he doesn't want the algorithm to forget about him, just because he doesn't want to become irrelevant, you see him creating new things every single fucking week. And eventually you see them burning out. You see YouTubers talking about how they are quitting YouTube because of they feel burnt out, because of they feel so tired, because of they have this brain drain, and they can no longer keep up. And so you see them quote unquote retiring. They're not retiring, no. They are not they're not retiring. They're just realizing that like you don't have to turn whatever it is that you love. You don't have to turn your passion. You don't have to turn your calling in life into content creation. You have to just do it for the love of it. Even if you want to make, because at this point in time, it is virtually impossible to escape the simulation. It is virtually impossible to escape the matrix. Even if you want to like turn it into content creation, at least do it on your own terms. Do you understand? At least do it on your own terms. At least do it when you feel like doing it. Yes, you need to provide for your family. Yes, you need to be able to have money to live. You understand? But money soils everything that it touches. The love of money, the Bible rightfully says, is the root of all evil. Money soils everything that it touches, and we cannot, it is difficult to escape the love of money. Like when somebody, like we see it a lot happening in Nigeria, when somebody with a poor mindset is suddenly fucking cursed with a lot of money, because it's not a blessing. It is a curse. When somebody with a poor mindset, when somebody with a shallow mindset, when somebody with, that who still has that farming mentality, suddenly comes in contact with a lot of money, you see how money amplifies their behavior. Money amplifies their already established behavior, who they've always been in life. Do you understand? You see how money changes them. You see what money does to them. And oftentimes, most of the time, it leads to destruction. So money soils everything that it touches. If you're somebody that cannot handle, if you're somebody that you're not conscious enough to understand the use or the purpose of money, it will ruin your life. That's just the truth about it. It will ruin your life. It will ruin your existence. So we're seeing now that things like arts, things like, all these people that are creative, we're seeing less and less of it, because, the cheap thing will always sell. The thing, like things that are easier to make, things that are quicker to make, things that are a lot more convenient will be what people will rush towards. You understand? Things that take a lot of time, things that are acquired tastes, things that deserve a keen eye and attention. Like, they are always subtle. You understand? They are always simplistic. They are always subtle. They're not always in your face. You have to you have to dig to find them. And when you find them, they last for you. They're a lot more meaningful. So we're seeing now that a lot of people will rather have fast food experiences in life than go for long-term enriched experiences. It's kind of sad, man. So it's just so fucking sad. it's just so fucking sad that we are now, as in all these like our fast food experiences have made us become so desensitized, have made us so docile towards the reality that is going on in the world. That's why you can see, I'm not on TikTok, but I've heard that on TikTok you can scroll and you scroll past like people starving in Gaza, people that are dying in Gaza, people that are war torn, children that are having their heads and legs and limbs blown off. You can scroll past that without feeling anything and scroll towards people doing TikTok dances, towards cat videos, people just like living their lives, people doing mukbang, and just people being hedonistic. It's wild. We have become so desensitized. We don't have empathy anymore. We don't have even the empathy that most of us claim to have are, material, as in they are showy in nature. The empathy that we think that a lot of people are, as in you see people that are doing all these videos where they go and then they help people. It is content creation. You're not being real. When like I don't think there has, as in I think it's very rare. I'm not going to say it's a zero-sum game. I think it is very rare for somebody to walk up to somebody without like a secret camera somewhere capturing that moment. Walk up to somebody and ask them what it is that is going on in their life and genuinely decide to help without, turning it into content creation. I see like there's this video of this guy in Nigeria. They call him Ashekain. He goes about like helping Nigerians, poor Nigerians, like providing food for them, like just like making their lives better, making their day brighter, just doing stuff that just elevates the pain that Nigerians are going through. Just make life a little less difficult for Nigerians. And while that seems altruistic and nice and good, the truth of the matter is that he's sponsored to do all those things. And at the end of the day, it's still content creation. It is still content creation to boost his ego, to boost his reach, just to make, and like it is still content creation, bro. Like I don't know of anybody. I mean, obviously it is, if anybody is doing it, then obviously yes, it is right not to know about it. But it is rare for you to see somebody who goes out of his way to help somebody else without a camera secretly filming them. It's not something that happens in our world today. And it's kind of sad that we have become so desensitized to empathy, to sympathy, to helping one another without any form of gratification in return, without any form of just like self-gratification or like fucking, I don't know the word to use, but this is the kind of world that we're living in today, where everything is content creation. Every single fucking thing is content creation. So the question now I want to ask, knowing now that we're in a simulation, an inescapable simulation, where everything has been curated for us, everything is designed to get our attention. All these corporations know a lot about us than we know about ourselves. As in they have every data about us. Not your VPN is not doing shit. The best thing your VPN can do for you is to give you the ability to watch Netflix shows that are shown in other countries. That is the only thing that your VPN can do for you. The fact that they're telling you that your VPN is going to stop data thieves from stealing your from stealing your information is just know this and no peace. Is not true. It is not true. Do you understand? So now that we know that we are in this inescapable matrix, like another thing people have to understand again is that we are so ingrained in it that we cannot even escape it. Like the Bible, in the Bible, in Revelations, it talks about how the mark of the beast is going to be on everybody's head, and the people that accept it are the ones that are going to live, and the people that don't accept it are the ones that are going to die. They are going to be killed. But the way the Bible puts it makes it seem as if the mark of the beast is this 666 number that everybody's going, as in it's going to be forced on everybody. Like it's going to be something that you have, if you don't take it, that they're going to actually have to like kill you. It's going to be forced on everybody. It's going to be just forced on everybody. That is how the Bible tries to explain it and makes it out to be. But the truth of the matter is this: the mark of the beast is not something that is going to be forced. It is something that is going, like, people, human beings are willingly going to take it. Like, people are going to beg for it. Do you understand? People are going to people are going to long for it. People are going to beg for it. People are going to kill each other to have the mark of the beast. Do you understand? It's not something that, there's this Nigerian movie that we used to watch when we were kids about, the mark of the beast, where after the rapture, the people that remained were now being forced to take the mark of the beast, to have the mark of the beast on their faces. And you see people hiding, people trying to escape the Antichrist. It just sounded so looking back, man, it just sounds and looks so simplistic and so reductionist about the whole situation. The truth of the matter is this, bro: if you cannot live without your phone, if you cannot live without your bank account, if you cannot live without your fucking whatever, your online presence, if you cannot live, there are so many things that if you cannot live without your insurance, if you cannot live without your medical bill, if you cannot live without all these things, bro, if you have a fear, an incessant fear of missing out on all that is happening in the world today, you have already accepted the mark of the beast, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. The proverbial 666 is already written on your face. If you think that, okay, for example, it's not even as if it's something that you have to be stubborn about. Just go a day without your phone, or try to give up your bank account details and see if you're going to survive. We've been put in this simulated, environment. Our cities now are the best simulated environment that is a parody of nature. Because everything you want, you can go to a convenience store and buy it, right? With your card or with your cashless pay, or even for the ones that still use actual cash. You understand? So, but without that, where will you store your money? Right? Where will you store, how will you be able to get in touch with your friends or your family or people that are important in your life? Without your phone or without your bank accounts. This is it. This is it. Our phones have become so much of an extension of ourselves that we are now cyborgs. We are now actual cyborgs. We have all these gadgets around us that help life that make life to not even, it's not that they are making life to be easier for us, because we still have people in the Amazon. We still have people like the people that live in the North Sentinel Island. We still have Aboriginals in Australia. All these Bushmen, all these Dane people that live their lives in tune with nature, that their lives are aligned perfectly with nature, and they're existing perfectly fine. They are existing perfectly fine. But we have convinced ourselves that these technologies that we have today make life to be convenient and easier for us. You can be in your house and you can order whatever it is that you want to order. Food, clothing, electronics, anything that you want. It's even worse that companies are realizing that they save more money if their employees work from home. Because after the whole COVID-19 situation, companies realize that, people don't have to come to the office again. They can just stay at home and do the job and get paid for it less. And then they can save and make more money from that. So for people now who work remotely, they think that is a good thing, but it's not a good thing. The fact that you can be in your house and not know what is going outside you're not able to feel the warmth of the sun. Even though I complain about summer, I hate the summer. I hate this sun, this Cyprus sun. It's where they carved out Cyprus and just placed it close to the sun. That is the kind of heat that we have. But even though I complain about it, the sun is still something that I want to feel. Instant. When I'm walking under the sun, yes, it's hot, but I just feel so energized. I just feel so in tune with in tune with the planet, in tune with nature itself. even if I have sunburns, no, not sunburns, even if I have like some tanning, like even if I feel tanned, right? I still feel like energized. Like the sun has a lot of nutrients and a lot of components that come with it, and it just makes you feel like a lot more alive and human. You understand? So for people now who are working remotely from home, who are now like less inclined to want to go out because they have the ability to order whatever it is at all they want just by the click of a button. Like that's not good. This is the matrix put as in imprisoning people more and more. Like a lot of people now are we talk about the loneliness epidemic. You understand? Men are having less sex than they used to, like in the past. Women are no longer like having like genuine relationships because everybody or the women are no longer like meeting people, like genuine people that have good intentions at heart towards them. Like everything has become so, individualistic, not in the sense that, you just have your own privacy or just have your own privacy basically. Like they are locking us up gradually. They are doing everything they can to imprison us in our own like cubicles, in our own fucking like tiny prison cells. Is what they're doing. Not the fact that you're working from home doesn't mean that you have a good job or you have like people who think they have free time because they're working from home. You ask yourself like, what are you doing without your free time? Like genuinely ask yourself, what do you do? How do you spend that so-called free time that you claim to have? Do you like how much of yourself do you work on? You understand? So they are imprisoning us, they are locking us up, and we have accepted the mark of the beast, hook, line, and sinker. And there's not much we can do about it. But I still have to ask the question, how can we escape it? There are little things that we can do. There are things, as in there are like subtle things that we can do. Even for people who think, or should I say for people who claim to be working from home, right? You can always like go out for a walk. You can always like, take out like time from your day to do away with everything that has to do with technology. Like if you're going out, get yourself a wristwatch. I don't have a wristwatch. I'm also advising myself, right? Get yourself a wristwatch and leave your phone at home. Do you understand? Like just try to be a lot more observable. Try to be a lot more try to be a lot more interactive. Like people no longer, as much as we used to do in the past, interact with one another. Yes, I am antisocial. Yes, I am chronically introverted. Yes, I understand that. I am antisocial and I am chronically introverted. I almost have agoraphobia. Almost. But I'm also advising myself, right? Because of the fact that I've realized that we're actually living in a fucking simulation. And that has shocked me and scared me so much that I am actually willing to want to put in the work to try to change my ways and try to like change how my life is. Do you understand? So go for a walk more, leave your phone at home a lot more, like do everything you can to be a lot less technologically as in inclined and a lot more like natural. Like try to like shift your focus more on nature. And that is the best way I think we can try to fight this. We can try to fight and escape this simulation that we have found ourselves in, because it actually feels like we are actually in a simulation, like the actual Matrix simulation that was portrayed in the movie. Like it actually feels like we are actually in the Matrix, where our real life bodies, like our real selves is just somewhere docile, prostrated and just lifeless, while the whole simulation is going on in our brain. We are just living in front of our screens, watching the world go by, as in just watching things happen, watching fake people live the lives that we wish we wish we are actually living. So the best way that we can escape that is to go back to doing things that we actually used to love doing when we are younger, when we're a lot more innocent, when life didn't feel so convoluted and so encumbering. You understand? Just go back to doing things that you used to love doing. If it is drawing that you used to love drawing, go back to drawing. If it is singing, if it is making music, if it is like building things that you used to love doing, if it is just taking a walk, you understand? Just go back to doing all those things. And this is the best way I think like we can try our best to escape this matrix, because like if we don't do them, we're actually going to die. Like we are heading towards a cliff, and what is under that cliff is like hell, literal hellfire, bro. Like our real life bodies are in a state of cryo sleep somewhere inside, dormant inside of us, and we are walking around with these masks that we have built for ourselves to try to like feel normal in this fake reality that we are living in right now. The best way to fight that is to take away the mask and try to like go back in touch with your inner self, try to go back in tune with your inner selves, and try to like try to have a better understanding of yourself, try to like interrogate yourself, think a lot deeply about yourself, be a lot more in tune and in touch with yourself, and life will be a bit better. Basically, we are living in a simulation, bro. This is the truth. We are living in an actual fucking simulation. Everything now just feels so fake. Everything feels so. No wonder a lot of people are just unhappy. No wonder a lot of people are so fucking unhappy. Like, if people have this sense. People are feeling like people have this like sense that something is amiss, something is wrong with our reality, something is odd, something is just not right, something feels weird, something feels incomplete. That's why a lot of people are so depressed. A lot of people are so sad. A lot of people are checking out. A lot of people are giving up. A lot of people are just, not trying, not putting in efforts, because we are so far from nature, so far from the divine. We are now being worshippers of technology. We're now being, followers of, as in like the machine. Bro, we are fucked. We are cooked. God, we are fucking cooked, bro. But it is not the end. It is not the end. We can still like come back. We can reel ourselves back. We can save ourselves, because there is no even the religion self has been compromised. Religion has been co-opted. I've talked about it in my previous episode, so I'm not going to like go too deep into it again. Religion has been co-opted. Religion has been compromised. It has lost its sacredness. It has lost that feeling of our attempt to get closer to the divine. It has lost it. And so whatever it is that they are doing today in their religious houses, like religion is taking people more and more away from divinity, more and more away from nature. Imagine talking about imagine like suppressing people's humanistic tendencies just because you want to, please some fucking God. It's weird, man. It's a fucking weird thing to do. So save yourself. Once you come to the consciousness of the fact that we are living in a simulation, you cannot unsee it. You see it every fucking way. It's just like that movie where that guy wore those glasses, and when he wore the glasses, he saw things for the way they truly are, for the way they really are. And it's like everybody's asleep. Everybody's like an NPC. But when you see it, when you come to the realization of it, when you come to the consciousness of it, you cannot unsee it. And that's why you have to try your best to wake the fuck up, because we are all living in a simulation. And the more of us that wake up, the more power we have to be able to fight this matrix. So that's it, man. That's all I wanted to talk about today. That's not about that. So if you followed me up to this extent, if you enjoyed the ranting up to this point, I actually opened another Twitter fucking profile. So this time around it's the Bear With Me podcast. So follow me on Twitter at General Prime 11. Share this with people you think might find it interesting. And also, just like subscribe to the YouTube channel, because obviously it helps me out a lot. I say follow content creator on this simulated reality that we are in. The likes and the subscriptions and the comments help me out a lot, actually. So, God. We cannot escape it, though, bro. We cannot escape it, bro. So yeah, that's it about that, man. Follow me, man. And thank you for chilling with me. Thank you for giving me your listening ears. Thank you for all the support that I've been getting, regardless of how little they are. And yeah, that's that about that, man. I really enjoyed this. And I'll talk to you guys later. All right. Bye, everybody.